Well, hey, and good luck to you.
You have a very good vacation, and don't let the birds steal your show.
Thank you, sir. Arrivederci. Okay.
And don't let the birds steal your show.
Thank you, sir. Arrivederci. Okay, the masked marauder from Kendall. Hello.
Good morning.
Oh, wait a minute. Before we talk to the masked marauder, you're never going to believe this is a true story.
I think I have the same one.
No, you don't.
I could. Is it about Steve Elkane?
No.
Oh, okay, because I have one about him.
Will you just control yourself for a moment, please?
Feeling wonderful.
Oh, is that the one about the restaurant?
Yes.
Oh, that's a great story. Hold on a minute. I was in Winn-Dixie, my favorite Winn-Dixie yesterday, briefly, just to get a few items, and I had to get some bananas, okay? And why do you look at me
What are
like
you going to do with those bananas?
Anyway, I had to get some fruit. No, that's not any better. Anyway, I had to get a couple items, and I walk into the produce section, and you'll never guess who was there in a million years. What couple was there?
Kathy McCallum and John Broward.
Worse.
Not the Calders.
Worse.
Oh, God.
Lee Fowler and Al.
Jamie and Marcy. Jamie and Marcy at Winn-Dixie, and I don't think they even live in Plantation.
They live in Hallandale.
So everybody now is flocking to my Winn-Dixie. I can't believe it. Okay, I'm sorry. What were you doing?
That was worth waiting for.
By the way, where are those numbers?
Well, they're in there. I don't know why they say they're till noon. I have no idea.
What do you mean they're in there?
Well, we don't want to get... They're in there, but I don't know why you can't get them till noon.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any predictions, Avi?
Well, wait a minute.
Well, let's put it this way. I don't want to, get your hopes up too high.
No.
But I noticed, but both of you are kind of like calm and not mentioning about that today because, it's a big day for everybody, isn't it?
It is?
Yes.
Well, yeah, there are a lot of, well, it's not that big for us because they're not expecting all that much yet.
How much are they expecting? And I'll tell you higher or lower.
Somewhere in the twos.
Well, hopefully it would be in the twos. Yeah, I think.
What do you mean, hopefully it would be in the twos? We had a 1-9 last time, and we inherited that August that was it's got to be above a 2.
Yeah, as far as what I see, it's at least doubled.
It's at least doubled?
Oh, that'd be great.
See, the whole thing is last time I saw something like that, last month, and there was then something totally different. I don't know exactly. If you give me the instructions, don't you have some instructions over there?
No, I can't go back to the computer and give you the instructions. Mark Kuhn will have a nervous breakdown.
Well, because I just don't know how to use this thing to its fullest potential.
Well, listen, you've got a lot of things you don't know how to use to their fullest potential, you know?
Yeah, and hopefully you won't be the one to show me.
You can bet your life I won't. Trust me.
Okay, now.
Yeah.
I have some material for you today.
Although I hear that one of the board ops from W Snooze might be interested.
None of the, trust me.
Okay.
None. except for Al's girlfriend, Yvette.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now I have some material for you. I'm going to tell you about the one about Steve Kane.
Yes.
The restaurant. Or did you already tell that to
No, I haven't told that yet.
Okay.
Are you going to tell it or just threaten to tell it?
I'll tell it to you. Anyways, I'm not sure what the name of the restaurant was, but our good friend Steve Kane went to a restaurant and he ran up $130 bills. Is that the same amount you had?
Yes, it was.
Okay, I know who you heard this from, too.
Mm-hmm.
And he, at the end, he wanted, obviously the leech went off. So he told the waitress, I'm Steve Kane, the guy who talks about restaurants on WZTA. And she said so. So then he said, call over your manager. He told the same thing to the manager. She said so. And then he left paying the $130 bill and stiffed the waitress.
Yeah, he was very upset that he had to pay. In other words, the point is he was looking for a freebie, and he didn't get it. So then he left no tip on a $130 check. How do you like that?
What a guy.
Yeah. All heart.
Hey, now, I have a treat for you today. Just don't know where to begin. Okay, I just as a joke, I was at someplace and I called up 800 information, and like how when you call up these people, you have to tell them you're on the air.
Yep.
And I told them I was Jack from Miami Beach on Zeta, and we wanted to know why our 800 number wasn't listed. Anyways, that could be real funny, but I don't know if you want to do that. And they were patching me into the supervisor, and she says, "Oh, I don't want to be on Zeta. She doesn't like you," and all that other kind of stuff.
Ooh.
She doesn't like who, me?
Yeah, the supervisor.
Well, let her drop dead, okay?
Okay, now.
Let her stick her where the moon don't shine.
You know your good friend Mike Lance, right?
Mm-hmm.
He wrote you a jingle, and I have it on tape. Okay? But now he says that I have to call him up and see if he wants to sing it live, or should I play that to you on tape?
No, play the tape.
Okay, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, hopefully.
I hope it's more exciting than this call so far.
Well, I have some other stuff I can't share. I can tell you about Glenn harassing Barbie.
I have not.
Yes, she called me up and played with you. He left $50 trolling messages on her machine. Like
Well,
when
that's not harassing her if I leave messages on her
Oh, boy.
machine.
Yeah, he wanted to know when
Oh,
I
boy.
come over and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I heard the messages.
Well, you're the one that instigated it, so
I
don't...
think it's wonderful. More power to him.
He set you up.
Okay,
man.
here we go. You ready?
Yeah, obviously.
We're ready.
Here you go.
Sounds good so far.
Hold on. Here it is. 2, 3.
18 till 8.
Oh, how I love you in the morning. Your voice is on my radio. I hug you and squeeze you with all of my might.
Oh.
Your voice is on my radio. You're my dream come true. The answer to every little sweet thing the whole day through. It's Neil on 949. Your voice is on my radio. WZTA, Miami Beach, Miami.
Where's Jay Michaels when you need him?
That's right. tell him to get J. Michael's boombox so they can make sweet music together, okay?
Okay, send me the instructions. You have my address.
Okay.
Okay.
Have a wonderful life, sir.
The FCC is cracking down. They don't like my choice of nouns. Talking about my genitalia. Threaten to cause a power failure. Talking about my genitalia. Talk about my genitalia. My genitalia. My genitalia, baby. By regulating what I say. Talking about my genitalia. Don't think my glands will go away. Talking about my genitalia. But I can't help being a drunken sailor. Talking about my genitalia. Talking about my genitalia. Talking about my genitalia. Talking about my genitalia. You shut my mouth, but I don't care. Talking about my genitalia. 'Cause I don't wear pants when I'm on the air. Talking about my genitalia. I'm dangling it in full regalia. Talking about my genitalia. Well, I'm talking about my genitalia. Talking about my genitalia, baby. Oh, my genitalia. My genitalia, baby. My genitalia.
Neil Rogers, the rock and roll monster.
It's 7:44 on Zeta 4. Do you have the feeling we kind of like lost control of the show the last couple of calls? Or is that just my imagination? Everything is under control?
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
Of course.
That's wonderful. Okay, and the phones are flashing like crazy, and those numbers are going to be out later in the day. Now, what was he talking about? Like we're supposed to have a apoplectic fit about it on the air?
About what?
About those numbers. I mean, what can we do at this point?
No,
Numbers
it's all
are
over.
numbers. It's all over.
And his prediction is that they will double.
Wrong.
Okay.
There's just no chance.
All right.
If they do, that would be very nice,
That would
but
be
I
great.
don't. I think those would be a little high expectations. Always remember to set your sights low, and anything that happens above that
Is a bonus.
is a bonus. That's what Mark Kuhn is always saying to me. He sets his sights real low
Yeah.
over on the AM, and I think for this particular rating period, he probably made the right decision. You know what I mean? Like fractions. That's where he set his sights. And that morning news. Now, have we still not heard? It's 7:46 on a Monday morning on Zeta 4. We have yet to hear. We've been asking for days from anyone who has ever, I mean, even by accident, heard just moments of the morning news with Mike and Arlene on WINZ AM, and we still haven't heard a peep.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, but there's a problem there. We don't know for sure what it is, but now, as I said, we could be wrong. It could be that they're all very loyal
Sure.
Wins listeners, and they're not tuning over to
Right.
us, so they're not here.
That's correct.
That's
That
possible.
Logical sense.
Very unlikely. Very unlikely. In other words, somebody who listens. I mean, they start at 5:30.
Well, now we got a call from Richard Vega. Now he's heard the show.
Yeah, and you heard what he said about it.
Everybody listens to this show. Cross-section of humanity.
To what show?
Teenagers to old folk listen to this show. Lawyers, junkies, everybody listens.
Yeah, you know about the junkie. Okay, we have an open line in Dade. Somebody just dropped off there, and I can't say that I blame them. 620-3600. 620-3600. After the news, by the way, we're going to hear John, what the hell's his name? Jonathan King? Yeah, John Broward.
John King.
Jonathan King, and He's So Fine again, because I just got to get that back on.
Okay.
And we're also going to hear A Badfinger.
Mm-hmm.
You found it? Isn't that a miracle that we have that in our library?
Oh, I watched The Godfather over the weekend.
Oh, did you? How did you like it?
That reminded me when you said library, because that's one of the lines in the movie that James Caan says. Yeah. I tell you, part one is incredible.
Yeah, part two hurts.
It's great.
Yeah, but it's not like...
Part one is the definitive movie. It will...
That's because Marlon Brando's in it with all that cotton stuffed in his cheek. Somebody stuffed a 50-pound wad of cotton in your cheek, you'd talk like you were constipated, too.
It's just a business.
The opening scene is when he's sitting behind the desk playing with the cat.
Wonderful. I watched part one Saturday and part two Sunday, and wonderful weekend.
You never once invited me to your house for a cup of coffee. But you were afraid that's the way you wanted it.
Movie making at its best.
Be my friend, Godfather. Kiss my ring.
Isn't that interesting? I like the Godfather and the Pope have that in common. They both want everybody to kiss their ring.
Another coincidence, don't you think?
I was going to say they're both from Italy, but this Pope is from Poland.
That's right.
But lives in Italy. You think he's connected?
Anyway, if you can catch it on HBO, part one is a must.
Yeah.
Part two is nice, fascinating, but part one is the definitive.
But you got to admit that part two is the best sequel of a movie that was ever made. Usually part twos are really inferior to the original.
Part two is fascinating.
Was it as good as The Silicon? Who ever heard of an Italian movie set in Silicon Valley in California?
That's where it was.
A little strange, isn't it?
Immigrants.
Okay, yeah. Okay, let's take another call. Then we'll do the news, and then we got all kinds of stuff to do here today. We have an open line in Dade County, which seems to be par for the course this morning. How come we don't hear from more of our Latin listeners?
I have no idea.
Do you think that Zeta 4 has a big Latin audience?
I don't know. I don't
I'm just asking for an opinion.
I don't know. I really can't say.
There isn't any particular reason why we should, is there?
No, there isn't.
In other words...
no quieren escuchar.
No. Unlikely.
I don't know anything about it.
It's increíble. It would be increíble if we did, because we just don't play any music that relates to the Hispanic audience, just like we don't play any music that relates to the black audience. What is it? We want this, like, WASP audience? We want all Goyim, too? Is that it? Don't we want any Jews? Just a couple? Just a few to round it out a little bit?
Right. That's right.
Jeez.
We got the Soul Patrol. We could have, like, the Latin Quarter or something.
Yeah, and the Kosher Corner. Broward County, hello.
Merry Christmas.
Hey, same to you, and happy Chinooka.
Thanks. I'd like to commend you on what you're doing for the Camilla's house. I think it's really great.
Yeah, and the mail really picked up today. I was very happy about that.
Yeah, it shows you're a really good person behind that cynical exterior.
You got it. That's right. Way deep down inside somewhere, there's something good.
Yeah, even though you try to hide it.
Nobody's found it yet, but when they do, boy, it'll be great.
I was wondering if you had that Christmas song by the Mackenzie brothers. The one, the 12 Days of Christmas, where he gets a beer.
That may be around here somewhere.
Yeah, we'll have to try to dig it up.
Not sure.
Great.
Yeah.
I like that song.
Good.
And, listen, I wanted to ask you to quit picking on people from Philly. Just because Joey Reynolds is from there doesn't mean we're all bad.
Okay. Well, listen, there are probably one or two good apples in that bunch.
Yeah, it's got a lot of history. 200 years ago, there was a lot going on up there, and down here was only swampland.
That's right, and some of the garbage from 200 years ago is still lying on the streets there. It's incredible.
Yeah, and all the Indians are lying under the glades, huh?
Yeah, like I said, Wilson Good had the right idea. He just stopped too soon.
Who's Wilson Good?
He'd be the mayor of Philadelphia.
Yeah, right now, well, I haven't been there in about 12 years.
Well, that's good. Believe me, you don't want to go back, okay?
Yeah.
Just savor those great memories, okay?
Suburbs are nice.
Right, like way out, like Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and
Cleveland.
Haverford and Gettysburg.
Yeah, and Utica. Okay, listen, have a wonderful day, but the news be coming up next. You know what I mean?
Have a good holiday.
You too.
Bye.
Bye, boy.
7:51 at Zeta 4. Frank Sinatra is playing Santa.
7:56 on Zeta 4, and also remind me, Captain Dave, we have to talk about that picture-taking session that was scheduled for tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, we're not going to do that.
No, we're going to take...
Hey, how you doing?
We're going to take
the
a
car
photo
wash
of that.
man.
Yeah, it is the car wash man.
How you doing?
He's doing great.
You don't want
Anyway,
to wash my car. There wouldn't be any paint left.
no, that's true. They don't want to wash mine either because it's too dirty. Anyway, getting back to where I was only moments ago.
Sorry.
What was I saying? Oh, yeah, something about that picture-taking session. Also, you notice when the news comes on, like we had all the lines lit up. Look at that phone now. Isn't that amazing? Like everybody just disappears.
I think a few had to go to work.
A few of them probably had to go to school or work, which is a pretty damn lame excuse as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, 620-3600 in Dade and 779-3600 in Broward. This is the sparsest this phone has ever been since we sat down here. There are like 2 calls on that board now. I can't believe it. Is that incredible or what?
There they go.
Huh?
There they go.
Well, yeah, now they're starting up again, but, we may have to play something here, like music. And that sends them away like crazy. What are they now? All you would-be rip-off artists.
I don't know how I'm gonna do it. What is my love? But I'm gonna make him mine. Here comes the sun. Be the ending of all the going. It's just a matter of time. My sweet Lord. He's a soft-spoken guy. What is my life? He often seems kind of shy. Makes me wonder if I give him a try. But then again, he can't shine. He can't shine away forever. And I'm gonna make him mine. If it takes me forever and ever and ever. He's so fine, Georgie. He's gotta be mine, Georgie. Sooner or later, Georgie. I hope it's not later, Georgie. We've got to get together, Georgie. The sooner the better, Georgie. I just can't wait. I just can't wait to be held in his arms. See you in court. If I were a queen, and he asked me to leave my throne, I'd do anything that he asked, anything to make him my own. For he's so fine, so fine, so fine, so fine. He's so fine, so fine, so
Jonathan King, that's number 2 already with 6 bullets and rising rapidly to the top. Can you believe that? By 10 o'clock this morning, is there any doubt that that'll be the number 1 hit on Zeta 4? It's 8 o'clock here on a Monday morning. It's time for the ID, Captain Mung.
You smell that? I love the smell of Neil Rogers cologne in the morning. It's a smell of an Arbitron victory. This is WZTA, Miami Beach, Fort Lauderdale, and the Palm Beaches. Starring Commander Neil Rogers and his attaché Glenn Hamburger Hill. And I'm your spokesman, Lieutenant Colonel Dave.
Boy, is that exciting or what?
I thought that was appropriate for today.
Why is that?
You know,
Victory.
the
the smell.
Now, I don't want you, everybody here's acting like we're going to have an 18 share or something when he's never. First of all, it's only 2/3 of a rating period, number one. And secondly, we have a lot of work to do here yet. Okay, we started at ground zero.
Everybody's impatient.
Yeah.
Have you noticed?
This is a whole different ball game. Okay.
Yeah, I know that.
But that's when you're at your best, when things are not running smoothly.
Oh well, then we ought to do great. We ought to do really great because based on the first few weeks here, especially the last couple of weeks, man, talk about running smoothly.
Now,
wow,
I have something to read to you. Are you sitting down?
Yes. Do I look like I'm sitting down, or do I look like I shrunk a few inches over the weekend?
Radio highlights for today out of the Miami Herald.
Do they be good?
Steve Kane, 2 p.m. WIOD. Representative James Burke and John Broward discuss Jesse Jackson.
Discuss Jesse Jackson again? What is there to discuss? This is the second show he's done discussing Jesse Jackson. I mean, it would be one thing if he had Jesse on the show. That would be bad enough. But discussing Jesse Jackson again? This man is so desperate for a show. We owe somebody an apology. You know who it is? Wait a minute. Like I said, we owe somebody an apology. You know who it is?
Stan Major. Talking about Stan Major.
Because all this crap about how he needs to get a show, okay? And there's certainly an element of truth in that because he keeps ripping me off and just talking about me. And if it isn't Miami Vice or Don Johnson, it's Neil Rogers. But.
Yeah, everything's relative.
Exactly. And at least Stan is listenable and you have some fun with him. I mean, the guy isn't doing the same old, tired, hackneyed crap that he's been doing for years, like some other people in this market that we know and love, right? One of whom you just mentioned. Who, I'm so sorry last week that I missed the 850th show. And who was it that he had on last week that drove me into apoplexy?
It's every week. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, he had Jack Lieberman on again for the 5 billionth time, and that's just this year. And the year's not over yet. I wonder what day he's having Michael DeSisto on this week. Huh?
I'm looking forward to the wrestling show.
Oh, God. This man. And they're actually paying this guy. Now, here comes another guy. Is that Gary Lawrence in his $75,000 BMW at 8:04? What the hell is he doing here at this hour of the morning? Let's hear it for Gary, boy. He really puts in those hours, doesn't he? He'll be gone by 3. He puts in his time, man. And by the time he finishes with his place, he ought to be putting in time. Just a joke, Gary. It's just a joke. And who are some of these other original people, like Alice Rantel, who was doing that thing with the attorney, Richard Essen?
Today, Alice's guest is Steve Sonsky, Miami Herald TV critic.
And I think back to when I was on at night. Okay, in the early days in the daytime, although thank God, very quickly I woke up and smelled the flowers, the pansies. But, you come up with Tom, and I'm not saying these are bad people, but I'm just saying the repetition, Tom Jicka and the nutritionist, and then there's Mike Spindell with the veterinarian. I mean, if he has Jan Bellows on again one more time this decade.
Next week.
Oh, no, are you serious?
Next Sunday.
Oh, no. Over and over and over the same tried and true, boring, terminal, repetitive guests.
You're right, of course, what you say. You're absolutely right. But
and
it bothers me.
Ellen Morphonius and Bob Kunst and Ellis Rubin and and Janet Reno and the same monotonous, boring Ed Cohen. My good dear personal friend.
Yeah, right.
Remember who
it's
attacked
just whenever
me? You notice? I want to. This is an interesting point. Excuse me for interrupting, but I'm worked up to an apoplectic frenzy at this point. Do you notice how all of a sudden, when things change and people know that they're not going to be on your show anymore, that some of your good friends start turning a little bit?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like on AM, when I cut out the guests. All of a sudden, my good, close personal friend Ed Cohen starts writing hostile things in such a prestigious journal as the West Kendall Gazette about the Neil Rogers Show. What a waste! It's such a waste that I'm entertaining people instead of bringing a boring, washed-out old man on like him to put the audience into a coma, right? And the same over here now that we're not, and all of a sudden Tom Jicka. I don't get up at 6 in the morning to listen to him. No, because Tom is too busy listening to Mike Ranieri pick his nose on IOD, okay? Why did you, as soon as I said that, you started wiping your nose?
Coincidence.
And you notice the pattern, how they turn on you, these people?
Yeah, you know, everything you say.
All they want to do is use you. They're all whores. Don't you understand? All of these people are whores. All these talk show guests. Whores. And you nurture them and you develop them and you bring them on and you make them into again. All of a sudden they're like on every damn show in town. Everywhere. Like the plague.
Can I get this one more time? What are they again? I don't think...
Whores! Oh, we got 2 mobile calls? Mobile. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, is this Neil?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, I heard you before. You said that you didn't have any Latin, listeners.
Well, I didn't say we didn't have any, but I was just curious if we have many.
Well, I want to give you a merengue for me on the air. Johnny Ventura, he's a very popular merengue player.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to get the Latin market.
No, not that bad.
Not that bad?
No.
Well, someone turned me on to you, and they said you would do it.
They said I would do what? I might do it, but not that.
You're a funny man, Neil.
I know.
Oh, God.
You love the show, don't you?
I really do. I really do.
And how about your other Hispanic friends, my friend?
When they out of jail, they listen to it. But in jail, they cannot listen to it.
I know. It doesn't penetrate those prison walls, does it?
No, it doesn't get up to Atlanta. We've been trying. So.
Atlanta?
We got our Radio Shack antenna. The Radio Shack antennas, the big ones?
Yeah, I sure do.
Yeah, but we couldn't listen to it. We tried, but we couldn't. We got Y100.
Yeah, that'll do it. Sonny Fox, man, he's big in prison.
Oh, yeah. He dresses up as a woman?
Yeah, well, he's got a lot of experience, you know.
Really? Listen, Neil, one more thing.
Yes, sir.
What'd you think about the Dolphins yesterday?
How about that? What a division, huh? They're 7-6 and they're tied for first place. What a great division.
Is it true that Roby's going to move the team over to Cuba?
Yeah, Roby Young. Yeah.
They're going to build a stadium for him.
Right. Have a wonderful day, sir.
So you have a great life, Neil.
You too.
Okay.
Boy.
Well, it's 2 distinctive.
Yeah, see how easily he's convinced. Now, I just made that up, you know?
Yeah, it's 2 schools of thought.
Okay, if you got a 2.5, that's okay. Now, we don't know that we got a 2.5. That's just, he just read some numbers off. But they happen to be 1, 2, 1, 9, 2, 5. Now, that sounds like they fit into this time slot,
Certainly
right?
does.
And if that's the case, that means we did over a 3 in the month of November. Like maybe well over a 3, right?
The decimal point is in the right place.
Yeah, now if it's like 0.25, he's used to that. There's no problem. There's no pressure.
Just like home.
Yeah. Well, one thing about being consistent, there's something to be said for it. Okay, it's 9:47 on Zeta. Now, do we want to take, are you going to do news?
If you
Well, one thing about being consistent, there's something to be said for it. Okay, it's 9:47 on Zeta. Now, do we want to take, are you going to do news?
If you like.
What do we got? How much have we got left? Because I have no idea what you're doing in there, and I guess that makes 2 of us, right? See, he's on the phone again. Should I play that thing on the phone again? Because he won't get off the phone.
Why?
Are you going to get off the phone? Because I think, what have we got, 3 minutes? We have 3 minutes, right? What is he? He will not pay attention to me now.
Why don't I just do the weather?
You don't want to do the news?
I'll be glad to. Whatever you want.
We have time for it.
Okay.
What? Speak to us.
He's back on the phone again. He's telling me, he was just, saying...
Who's that, fruitcake?
He doesn't know for sure. And I says, I told you that already. That you don't know.
We don't care. We're not going to hold a gun to his head.
I know. I think he's just a little worried.
Maybe to his chest.
But not his head.
Not to his head.
No.
Because what's there to blow out in his head, right? There's nothing there. Okay, don't panic, Cake. Just relax. Whatever you say, we're patient. We can wait. And if that's what it was, that'd be not a bad
great.
number. That would be just fine with me.
We're not going to hold you to it.
No. And if it's anything lower than that, then look out, because I know where you live.
9:48 now on Zeta 4, and the man who used to be bodyguard for